Hello, everyone. I'm Justin,
And I'm Marcella.
and this is Sailor Manga, the podcast where we take a deep dive into the iconic Sailor Moon manga by Naoko Takeuchi and discuss it to our heart's content. Marcella, it's our first official manga episode.
I know, I'm nervous. I don't know
You're
why.
nervous?
I know, it's ridiculous.
I'm a little bit nervous myself, so you know what? We're just gonna get through it together. But first, before we get started, couple questions. Number one, what version of the manga are you using?
I have got the Eternal Edition.
Okay,
'Cause
so I've
she's
also got
beautiful.
I've also got the Kodansha Eternal Edition. So anyone who's listening to this, if you for whatever reason want to use this as a audiobook along and you want to read along, we've got the Eternal Editions by Kodansha. And my second question is, how far into the anime are you?
This is terrible. I am no further. I know. Don't kick me from
No, that's okay.
from the podcast.
But what part are you at in anime?
I'm on season
Like, are you in
3.
season 2?
3.
Okay. Because the reason I ask is because I'm probably going to compare a lot to the anime, and I didn't want to spoil anything if you hadn't
We're
gotten
good.
that far.
No, don't you worry. I will
Okay,
be.
good. Awesome.
I will be motoring onwards as soon as
Okay.
possible.
And lastly, before we get started, we just wanted to talk about if we have any Sailor Moon updates in our lives. So, Marcella, do you have any Sailor Moon updates? Any purchases? Anything like that?
Yes, I bought, and I'm not wearing it. I'm an absolute disgrace. I'm not wearing
Oh,
it, but
no.
I bought a new top, as we would say in the UK, but I think
Yeah.
in the US you say a new shirt.
Yeah.
A kind of long sleeve t-shirt thing that's the Sailor Jupiter colours
Yes.
and bow, and yeah.
You showed me
It's
pictures. It's absolutely
beautiful.
beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I'll wear it next time. Not that it makes a difference.
Okay, that's
to,
fine.
recording.
It's all, you got to get the vibe sometimes,
Exactly. Got to get in character.
The only Sailor Moon update I have, well, I guess technically I have two. So the other day I wanted to do a little date night for me and Alan, and so I bought Scooby-Doo coloring book for him and a Sailor Moon coloring book for me, and we just
Nice.
listened to some lo-fi chill music, drank some wine, and colored. So I colored a couple Sailor Moon pages. I sent them to you.
You did?
And that was a lot of fun. And then I'm only 2 episodes away from being done with my watch through of Sailor Moon Crystal.
Oh, wow.
So I've got 2 episodes left, and then I'll be completely caught up on all Sailor Moon anime.
Wow, I'm impressed.
So I've been trying. The movie came out as of the time we're recording this. The first part of the Eternal movie is out in Japan.
Yes.
Have you seen anything about it? Like
I
pictures or anything?
haven't. No, I haven't.
It looks gorgeous.
Not been on my game. Does it look beautiful?
It looks gorgeous. They've been doing all kinds of promo around Japan. I've seen pictures of, and but they haven't announced anything. There's a rumor that Netflix bought the rights to the English dub, but there's no announcement for the release date of an English dub.
No, I haven't seen anything, and I know in the UK we get a slightly different version of Netflix than you guys do. So I'm hoping that we get it at the same time.
I hope
when it does finally come.
Yeah, and then we could maybe we could do a special episode and talk about that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be really good.
But before we talk any more about the anime, because we could talk about it all day long, let's dive into this manga. We're officially doing it. We're starting, and we open to the first page is in color if you have the Eternal editions. I'm not sure about the other edition, but
they're not in color. I have
the
other editions.
So. Oh, that's right.
You
have the standard
as well. Yes.
Yeah. So it just says "Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon 1" by Naoko Takeuchi, and it's a beautiful color page of Tuxedo Mask, Luna, and Sailor Moon, which I think is interesting because we haven't met the characters yet. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we'll be like. Who is this strange, mysterious, beautiful man?
And then we have the table of contents. And then we have the official start of the panel, which is very interesting that the Sailor Moon manga starts with a picture of Sailor V.
Yes, yeah.
It's a headline that Ikuko is reading, who is Usagi's mom, and it's just basically saying that Sailor V saved the day, and Ikuko is like, she's incredible, and then she's like, and then there's Usagi, my child, which is a lot of shade, but and then it shows that Usagi is late for school.
I can relate. Already.
And this page is also in color, and I love the panel of her that says, "Oh no, I'm gonna be late," with her the toothbrush. It's just beautiful. The coloring is gorgeous.
It is. It's gorgeous, and her little bun. And I'm trying to think. I should have got the standard edition, and I could have compared them. See,
True,
massively.
but
Maybe I'll do
it's all
that
good. Maybe
anyway.
next
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So that's officially the start of the first chapter, and
The
then we
contrast
get
between Sailor V. I like the contrast between Sailor V being the hero
yeah.
on the in the newspaper, and then cutting to Usagi, who is just in complete disarray.
Yeah, she does not have her shit together like Sailor V looks like she does.
No.
And then we cut to the official like start of the act, which are just chapters, I assume, in manga. And it just says Act 1, Usagi, Sailor Moon. And I need to talk about this page for a second because it's got it's got Sailor Moon and then Luna and some rainbow colors.
Yeah.
But not only does it have Sailor Moon with like platinum blonde hair, which in the previous panel you see her in some more blonde.
Yes.
But she also has a cape and a mask, which does not appear later on.
Yeah, true. It's almost
So
like
I just
she's doing a mild Sailor V cosplay to a certain
a little
degree.
bit. I wonder if Naoko was just like, you know what, having a cape is not practical for the type of shit I'm gonna put them through.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I love the mask and I love her platinum hair. She looks great.
Yeah, she does. I like the platinum hair too.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like a little callback to Queen Serenity, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so then we go to what they list as page 7, and the color pages are gone for now. We're back to standard black and white. And Usagi is basically blaming her mom for not waking her up early enough.
Yeah, I'm with her on that. Her mother should have had her.
You think it's all Akuko's fault?
Yes.
I love it. And then we have Usagi. She's sort of introducing herself. She says, I'm Usagi Tsukino, 14, and she's in her second year of middle school. And there's this cute little bunny icon, which happens a lot in the manga, so you can tell like off panel if Usagi is top. Super cute. And then she's complaining about always being late. Or no, she's complaining about it always being morning.
Yes, again.
And she doesn't want to go to school. And then in the monologue panel, or the monologue bubbles, she says that she's a crybaby.
I was getting strong feelings and vibes, I guess, when I was literally 2 pages in. I was thinking, "Whoa, this is."
You were like, "Wow, I recognize myself."
This is familiar.
I love it. And then she steps on something and she falls down.
Oh.
And you can't really tell what she stepped on until you go to the next panel. And she's like, "Holy shit, I just stepped on a cat."
A pretty kitty.
I know. And it's a black cat with band-aids across its forehead.
Yeah. I love the little panel further down. We haven't gotten there yet, but sorry. I love the little scratch panel.
Yeah, it's so cute. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Going for her eyes.
Yeah. So before that, Usagi's like, just forgive me, okay? You're cute. And then the cat scratches the shit out of her face.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly, don't blame her. But then we see she's trying to take the cat's trying to take the band-aids off of her forehead. And Usagi's like, oh, what are these on your head? I'll take them off.
Luna well, we don't know she's Luna at this stage, but she does look in distress.
She really does. She looks really upset. And then Usagi takes them off, and for whatever reason, the cat decides to jump on her head, which I think is just cute.
Yeah.
And then Usagi sees that the cat has a crescent moon shape on her forehead. And she's like, oh, that's weird. But then the school bells start to ring, and she realizes, oh, that's right, I'm late.
Yeah, she gets distracted.
Very distracted. Do you relate to this as well?
I do, yeah. It's my life in manga at the moment.
I love it.
Easily distracted by cute kittens.
You know what? That's totally fair. Kittens are really, really cute.
Yeah.
So then it takes us to Juban Public Middle School in the Minato Ward, which is where Usagi goes to school. And the teacher is already yelling at her for being late.
Yeah.
And then basically the teacher's like, go stand out in the hall. Which I love this panel because she's like sad winking.
Yeah.
And it just looks really cute. And then she's like, you know what? I'm hungry. My lunch is here. So I'm just going to go ahead and eat since I missed breakfast.
Again,
relatable.
I was always that kid who on class trips, if we went anywhere, we were on a bus and my mum would put me a packed lunch in a little container. I would always eat it as soon as we got on the bus.
Really?
Yeah. And then be sniffing around at lunchtime to see what everybody else
can you share your food with me?
What are you eating mine? Yeah.
So then the teacher is yelling at her because she's eating her lunch for breakfast. And we are introduced to her teacher through Usagi's monologue. monologue, and she says this is her homeroom teacher. I'm going to butcher this name, but Haruna Sakurada.
Yeah.
We're going to go with that. But everyone calls her Haruta, so it's like a
Yep.
blend of her names. And she teaches English. And then to further pour salt in the wound, Haruta says that these scores, Usagi, ain't going to get you very far because she has
Yeah.
a 30 on her English test.
Uh-oh.
Do you relate to that too?
Yeah, actually, no, I wasn't too bad at English.
Oh, well,
But
good.
if it had been maths or science, then yeah.
Oh, I hate
totally.
math. Hate math. So then we're introduced to a new character, one of, I wouldn't say Usagi's friends, we'll just say classmates. And
Yeah.
he's basically being like, how'd you do on the test? And then she tells us that his name is Umino. He's a super geek and he's super annoying.
You look very annoying.
And you can tell he's a geek because he has spiral glasses on. That's
Yes.
a big animation thing, apparently. Swirly glasses, you're a nerd.
It's a giveaway.
Yeah. And then there's this other classmate who is actually a friend, and she's talking, basically chastising Usagi for eating her lunch, and basically tells her that she's not a lady, which
It's a little
is
bit harsh.
pretty harsh. Yeah. And Usagi tells us in the monologue that this is her best friend, Naru. I love Naru.
Yeah.
She's adorable. I every time I read something that Naru says, I want to call her Molly and bring back the Brooklyn accent from the anime. Very bad, but I won't.
That's okay.
And then Umino tells us that he wasn't trying for the test, and they're basically just a game, and he shows that he has a 95.
Ugh, naturally.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of an Umino in school.
Oh, were you?
Cause okay, my favorite days were test days because okay, listen. My favorite days were test days because I never really had to study for the test because I just knew it without studying because I paid attention in class. I was that kid. And so then on test days, I would be like either the first or second person done with the test. And then I would have 45 minutes to read. So they were my favorite days.
We would have been friends then because you could have helped me out a lot.
Oh, of course.
I was too busy daydreaming and writing notes to cute boys.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. But yeah, so on this certain panel, I relate to Umino. I don't think I'm quite as annoying as Umino about it. But anyway.
No, you're not.
Naru definitely thinks he's annoying because she calls him annoying.
Yeah.
And Naru's like, I was hoping I could do better than Umino, and she shows that she has an 85, which is, still good. I think that's an American B. I'm not sure what that is over in the UK. I think you'll have a different grading system than we do.
We have A's
but
and B's.
Still good.
We have A's and B's here.
Yeah, but don't you have different ranges for it?
Yeah.
Because I think 92s for us starts in A.
Ah, okay. I don't
know what it is for y'all.
I don't know.
You're like, I'm not a turn. We'll leave that to Haruna. All right, so then Usagi's saying that Naru's really pretty and she's smart and she's upper class, which is basically her way of saying she's rich.
To be fair, she does look very put together.
You know what she does? She doesn't look as, she doesn't look like she woke up late for school like Usagi did.
Yeah.
So that's fair. So then I'm assuming this is like recess or, oh no, it's lunch, I guess. They're having lunch outside, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
And a couple of girls are talking about a jewelry store robbery, and there's been a lot of them lately.
Yeah.
And Umino pops in and he's like, don't worry about it. Sailor V caught the culprit. And Usagi has the nerve to not know who Sailor V is.
I know, that surprises me.
It does surprise me too.
Yeah.
Because later on, we see that she's really into manga and TV. So I'm just surprised that she hasn't heard about like a real life superhero.
Yeah.
But Umino tells us that Sailor V is the only person anyone can talk about. She's super famous, sailor-suited champion of justice. And there's rumors going around that she's an investigator for the police.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure who is saying this next bubble, but they say that there's a lot of those going around and it's a sign of the times. I'm assuming that's Naru, because there's a star next to it, or is this still him talking?
I think it's still the same.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's not clear, is it? But yeah, I think it's still the same.
Clear. Okay, cool. So Umino then tells us that it's not just robberies. There's been a slew of crimes, and he tells Usagi you should really catch up on the news.
I'm loving his facial expression with the
yeah, same. Yeah, and he's like waving his finger in his face like, ah.
But who'd be watching? I didn't watch the news when I was 14.
You know what? I don't think I did either. I probably watch more news now as an adult, of course, but
Yeah, of
that's also
course.
because I go on Twitter and get my news. But millennial age, I guess. So then the girls who were gossiping about the jewelry store robbers are basically being like, you know what? I sympathize with the robbers because I want to rob jewelry.
Mm,
And they're talking about the sparkling gems and they would love a diamond ring.
yeah.
And then Usagi pops in and she's like, hey, Naru, doesn't your family own a big jewelry store? And because of course she does. Convenience is a big thing in Sailor Moon. If it's convenient, it just makes sense.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
Yeah, you just go with it. Naru says, yep, they sure do. And they started a big sale. And there are some pieces that even you poor middle school students can afford.
We're back to the pause again.
Yeah, we're back to the pores. Naru is basically the character on my GTA streams, Knives, who like
She is.
she literally like turns her nose up at the pores. She's like, y'all can even afford it. So they make plans to stop by Naru's family jewelry store after school, which is called in the next panel, it tells us that it's called Osa P.
Yep. Very fancy looking building.
Yeah, it looks crazy. It looks like it's 4 stories.
Yeah.
Like it looks quite lavish, to say the least. So anyway,
But
I'm assuming
70% off.
yeah, the sign, big discounts, like, and there's honking going on. I'm not sure why, but anyway. Then we see the girls must be after school because they're like Usagi and this rando are clinging to the glass, looking at this beautiful piece of jewelry that the center one. It says the center one is 1 billion yen pigeon blood, and that's a kind of ruby. Now I don't know about you, but I've never heard pigeon blood ruby, but I love it.
I haven't. I'm Googling right now.
Do it. Because that's crazy. It's also in bold, which I find interesting. They're like, we want you to know that this is the name of the ruby.
It's a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it expensive?
It says pigeon's blood is the term applied to the most highly saturated colour and natural red fluorescence possible in rubies. So we're talking the best of best.
Oh, wow. Y'all got the exclusive here today about pigeon blood rubies. That's
We're
so
learning.
interesting.
We're learning.
This is an educational podcast.
Yeah.
So then it says next to it is a yellow diamond. And of course, we can't cut those prices down. And then Naru's shocked by something because all of a sudden there's all these people.
Yeah.
And then we get this little panel of Naru's mom. Does Naru's mom have a name? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I'm just laughing at in the panel just before with the bargain prices. She's saying, anyway, look at those people. And then there's just below that it says that all my moms.
I know.
I don't know why.
Just a little shade.
They're all so old.
Sorry, I'm Googling her mom name. Her name is Mayumi.
Oh, that's nice.
So we got this lovely picture of Mayumi. I really wanted to know, so I had to look. Okay. So then she's basically cheering on the crowd and she's like, come on in, it's crowded, take a look. She's telling the girls that they have some affordable items and she can lower the prices for Naru's friends.
Oh, very generous.
Naru, this face that Naru is making is so concerned. And she's like, we've never used to have sales before. I guess my mom's business sense has finally blossomed. And then
she's looking concerned that it might adjust her lifestyle slightly.
I know, she's like, Mom, we can't be poor. Because Naru's accustomed to a certain type of life and she's not willing to go backwards, is what this panel's telling me.
Yeah, that's what it's telling me too.
And then Mayumi is screaming into a cone to amplify her voice. And she says, you'll love our prices. Come on up, like, get this sale. And then there's customers not complaining, but praising how cute stuff is. And the girls that Usagi and Naru were with are saying they did really well in their tests. And hopefully that their father can buy it for them.
There's a bit of a brawl going on in the background as well.
Yeah, it looks very intense, which Usagi kind of mentions. And then we have this weird panel of Mayumi that's fairly blank, and then we get another panel of Mayumi monologuing, and she says, "We need more young energy. Must gather much more." So a little bit of sinister something's going on with Mayumi.
I was about to say very sinister. I'm
we're not quite sure.
I'm suspecting that. There's
something's amiss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Usagi's, like, I wish I had money. But she's like, I got a 30 on my test, so there's no way that I can ask for, a little good job money.
Yeah, and she's
And
already spent her
right,
allowance.
her
Again,
allowance.
again, relatable.
And I love this little thing, this little added thing where she says, "Stupid test, die, die," and crumples it up. Oh, so she crumples it up and she tosses it behind her and she's like, "I'm going home." And the paper hits someone in the face because Usagi apparently isn't very observant to her surroundings.
Mm. I'm going to stop
And
saying relatable at some point. You just get it. I am Usagi. I
well,
get
if
it.
they
We get
listened
it.
if they listened to episode 0, they heard that the scout that you feel like you connect with the most is Sailor Moon, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So this guy is like, "That hurt. Basically, you're rude." And then he says, "I'm talking to you, Bumpy." And he's talking about he's like, "You trying to cover my head in bumps too?" Talking about her adongos, her buns,
Yeah.
which I think is really rude. I mean,
It's
to be
kind of
fair,
cute as well, though.
yeah, it is kind of cute. But to be fair, she did throw something in his face.
Yeah.
So she's like, "They're not bumps, they're called buns. Get it right." And he unfurls the test that she threw at him. He's like, 30? He's like, "Really? You got a 30?" And then he tosses it back at her and he's like, "You need to study harder." And we get the first official bunhead nickname.
We do. I love bunheads. I'm loving how
Yeah.
he's throwing shade and also wearing shade. And it's looking it's
Yeah, I didn't
looking
even notice that.
extremely sharp in that
Yeah.
top panel.
Right, because he's wearing a tuxedo. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
And makes no sense in the middle of or, in mid-afternoon. But you know what? To each their own. I'm not here
Mhm.
to shade Mamoru's, well, we don't know Mamoru yet, but Mamoru's hash choice. But so then in the other panel, we have Usagi looking back at him. She's like, "What's wrong with him?" Basically what I just said. Why is he wearing a tuxedo in the middle of the day? He must be a
Yeah.
snob.
Yeah.
And then in a very what's the name of that nursery rhyme? The Big Bad Wolf. In a very Big Bad
Yes.
Wolf fashion, he says, My, what a big jewelry store you have here." And that's the thing that I think of every time I read that panel is very Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah. I never thought of that before. It is.
Yeah. And he says that the jewelry store is big enough to might even contain the mystical silver crystal.
It does have 4 stories. It could be in there.
It could definitely be in there. If something called the mystical silver crystal is going to be anywhere, it's going to be in a 4-story jewelry store.
For sure.
So then we have Usagi walking home and she's worried about her test. So what does she do? She stops by to play some video games. Naturally.
Smart choice, girl.
So
Just
she goes,
delay the
just
inevitable.
delay it. Just, forget reality. Let's go to some fantasy for a while.
Yeah, completely.
So she goes to Crown Game Center and there's a poster for Sailor V. So Sailor V is not only famous in the fact that in the real world she's
Yeah.
catching criminals, but she also has her own video game, which is why I call bullshit on her not knowing who Sailor V is.
Exactly. But that's next level, having your own
Yeah,
video
like
game.
you've been crime fighting. You're that famous that you have a video game crafted after you.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
come
no
on,
way.
Usagi,
There's no way.
get it together.
We're hitting the bullshit button on that one.
Yeah, the official bullshit button being hit.
Yeah.
So Usagi's like, "I wish I could be like Sailor V. She doesn't have to study, and she thinks that beating up bad guys is probably good stress relief." And you know what? Fair.
Fair, yeah, definitely.
So she says she's just gonna pop in for a game or two, and then apparently she's really bad at this game. Because she's fighting the lowest level guys and they aren't dying, and she doesn't know how to do a special attack.
But she's
So
trying.
then-
That's what counts.
And you know what? That is what matters. She's doing her best. Even on her 30 tests for English, she's doing her best, even if her best
Yeah.
isn't much. So then we meet the attendant or employee, I guess, of Crown Game Center. And for some reason, he's commenting on the fact that she's still in her school uniform.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And then he's basically trying to give her pointers on the Sailor V game. And then Usagi monologues. This is the guy who works the arcade. He's really good looking, really nice, and she has her eye on him.
He's hitting on a 14-year-old schoolgirl.
It could come off as very flirting, but we're gonna skate past.
Yeah, no, he's just being friendly.
Yeah, he's just being friendly. So then Usagi hears a meow, and it's the cat from earlier.
Oh.
With the crescent moon, and she looks adorable here with her long ass whiskers.
It's a very Shrek Puss in Boots look.
Yeah, you know what? It really is. I didn't think about it, but it is. Huh. So then he comments that the cat's been hanging around for a couple days. And is this her her? Oh, yeah, this is her. She says, oh, look, there's a crescent-shaped bald spot on her head, acting like she didn't see this cat before.
Yeah.
It's like, that's probably something you would have noticed the first time.
Yeah, well, she's not very observant.
Yeah, she was late. She was late for school. She couldn't be bothered. So then Usagi's like, well, there's this cat here, but I should go home. So she heads home, and Ikuko is wondering where she's been. And to further Usagi's dread, Ikuko's like, I ran into Umino earlier and he got a 95 on his test. So what'd you get?
As if she doesn't know.
Yeah. As if Umino would not have been like, so Usagi got a 30. And I love this panel of how upset she is at Umino. She's like, do you have to blab to everyone? And the anger lines in her hair are cute.
Yeah.
And then Usagi hands over the 30, and Ikuko is livid. Trembling with rage, yes. And then she's like, if you're not going to get good grades, don't bother coming home. And she slams her daughter outside of the house. Is this a Japanese culture thing? Because I can't imagine that. That's
no,
rough.
I think, yeah, that is rough. And did she not see it coming with she knows her daughter, yeah?
Right, because she was complaining about her in the first panel about how she's not like Sailor V.
Exactly.
Sailor V would never bring home 30s. So anyway, then
She's
we
only got
have
herself
her
to blame.
brother do what? She's only got herself to blame, yeah. So then we have, well, right now it just looks like a kid kicking Usagi. And he says, what are you doing, stupid bunny? Did mom kick you out of the house again? So it's her little brother.
Yeah.
And he says, I wish I could have a sister who was at least mildly competent. Sick shade.
Yeah.
And we learned that his name is Shingo. And she was like, you're my little brother. Show me some respect. And then she does something completely badass. And she just screams Sailor V kick while trying to kick him.
So she knows, she's acknowledging she knows who Sailor V is now.
Right. Because she played a video game for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So Usagi hits her foot on the door because she's not very coordinated. And she's, in so much pain. And then she's begging for Ikuko to let her back inside. And she's literally screaming, crying emphatically.
I'm loving the door closed and you can just hear her with the big wah on the other side.
Yeah. And then Shingo's like, she's disturbing the peace, which I think is a very interesting, very American thing for them to translate it into.
Yeah.
And then Ikuko opens up the door and she's like, okay, come on in. And then we cut back to Osapi Jewelry. It's nighttime now. And there's a masked man looking outside of it. Very sinister as well.
Yeah. Who is this mysterious?
Who is this mysterious man who looks like he's in formal wear? We haven't seen anyone like that yet.
No.
So then we cut to energies being gathered, and we're not sure who's talking. And then it shows us around the town of people getting feeling very strange after leaving the jewelry store.
Yeah.
And then we see Mayumi, and she says, selling these special energies, sapping? I think it should be zapping. But anyway.
No, sapping. Sapping makes
Is that
sense.
a thing?
Yeah. The sap.
I've never heard.
Sap and you have your end sap.
I've never heard that before. See, even I'm learning today, y'all. So basically, we learned that Mayumi is into some sinister, energy-draining jewelry.
I like they're spelling it out for us.
Yeah,
I like a villain who explains their evil plan.
Yeah, doesn't beat around the bush.
Yeah.
And then she says, I'm going to take the real jewels for myself. Well, then Molly happens to overhear this. She's outside the door, and her mom says, yet again, this door doesn't have the one we're really after. And wait, did I call her Molly?
You did. That's fine.
I sure did. You know what? The English dub got me.
We'll go with Molly.
Naru's like, Mom? And then Mayumi has fangs suddenly.
That is an evil face.
That is an evil face. Like, it's even got the black shading in the background. She looks very evil. So then we cut back to Usagi, and she's like, you know what? All that crying really made me tired. And I love this little detail of where it says Usagi's room, and she's got the bunny.
With the little bunny, yeah.
It's so cute. And she even has a bunny on her English book, you can see.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. And she's like, my mom didn't have to get so mad at me. And then she complains about not wanting to do her homework. And then she's like, I'll just take a little nap. The relatability just keeps going, huh?
Oh, it does, yeah. She's just gonna rest her eyes, and then she'll wake up energized and get it done.
You
She
know what?
won't
There's
wake up
nothing
late.
wrong.
She's not gonna wake up late at all.
No, there's nothing wrong with coming back to a task later, feeling refreshed.
Yeah.
So Usagi falls asleep and she's having a dream about the Sailor V game.
And look how cute and tiny she is.
I know, it's so adorable. It's very like chibi
Yeah.
drawing. And she's like, I'm still playing this game in my dreams. I'm Sailor V, who suddenly has a sword, which I think is kind of foreshadowing if you think about it.
Yeah.
In the next panel. And she's like, I got him, which he looks like an alligator or crocodile sort of animal.
He does.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And then she sees the guy from the arcade and the cat. And they were chained up by this villain that she slayed.
Oh,
and
she
she's like,
saved them.
and then there's this cute little chibi drawing of her on the side of the panel of her
cute.
crying. It's very adorable. And then she feels some scratching on her head and it wakes her up. Who could it be? Of course, it's the cat from earlier with the crescent bald spot.
But she's not bald.
She's not, because the cat says, I'm not bald, don't be rude. And
Look at that
Usagi's like,
sass as well.
I know, the wink. I love it. And then Usagi's like, is that cat talking? And Luna clears her throat and she says, I'm Luna. I've been looking for you, Usagi. And Usagi just has this dumbfounded look on her face. I love this drawing of her where Luna's explaining. Yeah. She just looks so pretty. Like Naoko's drawing right there is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's very feathery and wispy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So Luna continues to explain and she says, you really helped me out when you took off those bandages. They made it so I couldn't talk and they dulled my track abilities. The kids in the neighborhood are a bunch of brats and their little prank really slowed me from finding you. Usagi's still like, what the fuck?
She is.
It's like, this guy. And so Luna says, I'm glad I found you. I was worried that I wouldn't find you. And what does Usagi do? She rolls back into bed. She says goodnight. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Well, I mean, in her mind, she's clearly dreaming.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't quote unquote wake up from a dream and see a talking cat and be like, you know what? I'm awake. This is fine. So that's fair.
Yeah, if I wake up and my cat Judith is talking to me, I'm going back to sleep.
Your cat is so cute. Very Luna.
She is very Luna.
Yeah, I looked at your Instagram story about her, the highlight.
Oh yeah.
Because I made that manga logo for us of us as manga characters, and
Yeah.
I was gonna do one of your cat, but it wouldn't let so.
Oh, she could be our Luna. That would be really cute.
Yeah, but it wouldn't let me do it with the filter for her for some reason. But anyway, so Usagi rolls over and she's like, I'm going to bed. And Luna is pissed and she's like, this is not a dream. And then Usagi's talking to herself, this is a dream.
Yeah.
And then Luna's like, fine, I know what'll wake you up. I have a present. And Usagi jolts out of bed.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
I mean, honestly. And it's this cute little brooch. It's like a star on it. It's got like 4 little balls on the northeast, southwest side of it. She thinks it's very cute. And she's like, I can have it. It's my very own brooch. And then Luna, is like, okay, but listen, there's some strange stuff going on in Tokyo and they're too much for the police to handle. And that's where you come in. You're one of the chosen guardians. And Luna says, you have a mission. You have to assemble your team. You have to defeat the enemy. You have to find our princess. And then Usagi's like, wait. This brooch is glowing. You're going to need to wait.
Hold up. Yeah.
And then Luna's like, you don't believe me? Repeat after me. And she says, moon. And then Usagi is like, okay, I'm just going to go with this. And she repeats it. And then we got Prism Power Mate, the first transformation in the manga.
Yeah.
And so Usagi transforms into the image that we saw earlier, and she even has the mask on, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, she does.
So I wonder if Naoko just was like, I need to separate her from Sailor V, so maybe that's why the mask went away. But as of right now, she did the mask, and she looks stunning.
Because the only thing that really separates her is the hairstyle.
Exactly, yeah. So Usagi's like, what? Like, I'm in new clothes. What's going on? And then she hears something from her buns, which I still think this is a very interesting creative choice. Not her ears, but her buns.
Yeah.
And she hears someone crying out for help. And I'm not sure if she sees Molly. God bless it. Not Molly. Naru.
Yeah.
She sees Naru, or she just hears her. I'm assuming they just show that to let us know.
Yeah, but then I'm not sure if you've turned the page yet, but we can see I'm saying Molly as well.
I know, sorry. I'm messing it up.
In her glasses, so maybe that's.
Oh, you're
maybe she
right.
can see.
You're right. She can see. I almost said Molly again. Naru.
Yeah.
So you're right. Okay, so she sees her and she hears her, and she's crying out for help and saying that her mom's trying to blank.
She is in distress in that second.
Very distressed. It looks like some talons, some long nailed talons are grabbing at her.
Yeah.
And so Usagi's freaked out, and she's like taking off her mask. She's like, "What the hell is this?" And she says, "These are some kind of video in these glasses. What's happening?" And then in the panel, you can see it doesn't even look like Mayumi anymore. It just looks like a being strangling Aru.
Yeah.
Very concerning. And then Luna's like, "Do you believe me now, bit?" And Usagi's like, "I don't know what's going on, but Naru's in trouble." And then Naru screams again for help, and Usagi says that she has to go save her.
We can see the jewelry store in the bottom as well. I just spotted that.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that either until just now. Cute. So then it cuts to Naru, and she's being strangled by her mother, who claims, "I'm not your mother. Your mother's down in the basement starving to death." And this is a truly horrifying drawing.
It is pretty hardcore.
It's nightmare fuel for sure.
It is.
Because Mayumi has turned
Nightmare
into
fuel.
a crypt keeper looking monster. I hate it. It's terrifying.
And we see her real mother tied up.
Yeah. And it says, "Don't worry, she's still alive."
She's still alive.
So then, who should be lingering outside but this masked man in a tux? I wonder who he could be. That's so interesting.
Got a top hat on as well. Did he have
Yeah,
a
top hat.
Cool.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I didn't notice. Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah. So Usagi bursts through the front of the jewelry store, and she's like, "Get away from Naru, you old monster lady." And then the guy in the tuxedo hangs back and is like, "Okay, I'm gonna see what's going on." And then the monster says, "Who are you?" And Usagi's like, "What?" And then I find this hilarious because Usagi doesn't know who the hell she is, but Luna meows, and it just suddenly clicks for Usagi.
Yeah.
And she says, "I am the guardian of love and justice. I am the pretty sailor-suited soldier, Sailor Moon." And this drawing, iconic.
It is, isn't it?
It's very, I mean, that's the image you see of Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Other than when she's like, "I'll punish you," which we'll get to second. But it's very beautiful.
If they'd put that particular drawing in colour as well, that would have been a nice touch. I'm just thinking now.
Oh yeah, that would have been like if they just popped that one page in color, it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
So then we have the monster, and she says, "Sailor Moon, never heard of her."
Who's getting more and more terrifying with each drawing, I may add.
With each drawing, because her mouth is now like an empty cavern, it looks like.
I know, and her arm looks like tree trunk or...
Yeah, it's very like
she's melting.
Oh, it's very terrifying. Naoko killed that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So the monster decrees for her slaves to awaken, and those are the people who have had their energy drained from the jewelry.
Yeah.
And she's like,
the bargain shoppers.
Yeah, the bargain shoppers. Yeah. So then it cuts to a couple panels of people who have had the jewelry, and they're like coming to the store.
And look at their eyes.
Yeah, they're scratched out in the drawing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's a cool way to show like that they're against their will kind of thing.
Yeah, possessed and yeah.
Yeah. So then the monster says to destroy Sailor Moon, and one of them tries, and the only reason I want to mention this is because she shatters a random bottle, and she tries to hurt Sailor Moon, but I love the floral print on her dress.
Yeah.
It's very detailed for it to be a very side character, but it's gorgeous. I love it. Fashion.
It is. We appreciate
it. We do. So Sailor Moon kind of gets out of the way. She's screaming, and she's like, "I still thought this was a dream." She's still dumbfounded that this is happening to her.
Yeah, she's just like, "I'm gonna go with it. This is a dream. It's pretty cool."
Yeah. She's like, "This is basically just a Sailor V contraption in my head." But she's hurting and bleeding. And Luna's like, "Why are you on your ass? Get up."
Take her down.
Luna's like, "You have to fight. Yeah, take her down." And Usagi's like, "I don't know how to do that. What are you talking about? Why is this happening to me?" And this panel of her, when she says, "Why is this happening to me?" and she's sobbing, and it says "wibble wibble." It's just very cute. I love the character.
The lip going. It's
really cute.
She's so expressive, isn't she, with her?
She is.
Just the drawings seem so simple, but like they convey so much emotion.
It's like something that looks so simple. It's like so complex when you really look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sailor Moon, well, I'm just going to call her Usagi right now, but she says, I hate this. I want to go home. And she starts to scream, cry, really wail.
Yeah.
And something triggers on her buns. Again, not her ears, her buns.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what happens is it triggers some type of supersonic crying and it shatters the glass in the jewelry store. That's pretty fucking hardcore.
That's, yeah, pretty.
Like, to come out of nowhere, like, let's shatter the glass around this door. And you never see that again. Sailor Moon never shows, like, crying, supersonic banshee crying powers ever again.
That seems like something
But I
that
love
could
it.
come in handy.
You would think so, yeah. It's like, oh, she's
mean-
weak because she's crying, and then your ears start to bleed.
So she's using her weaknesses or perceived
As a
weaknesses
strength.
as a strength.
Yeah, I would love if that continued. But anyway, Usagi does grow up in the manga, so I mean, valid.
Yeah.
But it would be cool in like the first couple volumes to see it.
Yes.
But anyway, the monster is a. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say we see the mysterious tuxedo man sort of looking like he's preparing himself.
Yep, because the banshee sonic crying, the supersonic crying, is affecting the monster, and she's like, it's basically hurting the monster in a way that even the monster did not expect.
Yeah.
And so then we hear, "Stop crying. This is your chance, Sailor Moon." And Usagi's like, huh? And then Luna's like, okay, so take off your tiara and just call out Moon Tiara Boomerang. Which, if I still thought this was a dream and a talking cat told me to just call out words, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening here on this day? It's very far-fetched. But props to Usagi because she really does lean into it. So she takes off her tiara. It transforms into more of a disc.
Yeah, not
which
so
is
much a
interesting.
boomerang, but...
Not so much a boomerang. And she calls out Moon Tiara Boomerang. And she says, take that for good measure, which I also love this drawing because she looks super happy while throwing this tiara.
Considering she's about to decapitate.
Yeah, she's like, super chill, just girly things, TM. And we see the tiara coming towards the monster. Also, very terrifying drawings of the monster in the two panels. Like, very melting, like talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Terrifying. And then in the next panel, you see like a skull melting. And I hate that image. Like, I hate it. It's great. The detail is awesome, but I hate it. So Usagi's freaked out because the monster turns to ash, basically, to dust. And she's like, yeah, she turned into sand. She disappeared. And then she hears the tuxedo man says, well, no silver crystal. I mean, there was an interesting show here, but what I'm looking for is not here, so peace. And he just flaunts out of the store. And Usagi's just kind of dumbfounded, like, who the hell? Why the hell? But before he departs, he says, my name is Tuxedo Mask. And he says, Sailor Moon's yours? I'll remember it. And then maybe you know this reference because I sure as hell don't. But Usagi is monologuing. She says he's just like Lupin, the gentleman thief, which I don't know what that is.
No.
So might have to look that up.
I haven't. I'm on it.
Oh, you're already googling it. Cool.
Yeah.
While you do that, we have this gorgeous panel of Usagi with heart eyes, and she's like, "Oh, he's gorgeous."
I love the heart eyes.
Yeah, it's so cute. She basically in this panel, she's listening to "Gorgeous" by Taylor Swift. Because she's obsessed with how cute he looks.
Oh, okay.
Did you find it?
It's a book, Lupin, Gentleman Burglar.
Interesting.
It's a collection of stories by Maurice Leblanc, recounting the adventures of Lupin, released in 1907. I'll look into that a bit more later.
Yeah,
anyway,
that sounds interesting. So then we have Luna praising Usagi, and she's like, that monster was disguising itself as Mayumi, Naru's mom. And she's like, so do you get it now? Do you see that the enemy has infiltrated and then Usagi's not listening. She's still got the hard eyes. She's still thinking about Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be. But...
I mean, yeah, he does look pretty, I will say, he looks pretty dreamy when he announces his name in that panel. He does. Pretty handsome. So then it shows all the people who were enslaved by the monster waking up, and they're like, how the hell did I get back to the jewelry store? The
bargain shopper zombies. And there's your there's your friend with the nice dress.
Yeah, honestly, I need to know where she got that dress because it's gorge. So then Luna, on the next page, Luna says that they're leaving and they need to go. And you kind of get the sense that Usagi still thinks that it's a dream, but she feels less stress, and she met the perfect guy in her dreams.
The heart eyes are still there.
The heart eyes are still in full effect, yeah. So then we cut to somewhere maybe a little sinister, and we hear someone saying, Sailor Moon, you got me this time. And then we meet who might be behind this. We don't even get a name, but he says, I must get my hands on the mystical silver crystal and I must do it soon. So this sinister looking guy is after the same crystal that Tuxedo Mask is after. So
Mm.
are they both evil? We don't know. Could be.
And he's like, you got me this time. So, I mean, she defeated the monster in that situation, but she
Yeah.
hasn't won the war.
Yeah, she won the battle, but not the war.
Mm.
So then we cut to the next day at school, and Naru's basically telling everybody about this crazy event that happened to her. And she was like, a robber was attacking me, and a guardian in a sailor suit came and rescued me. And she said that she would have seen her face, but she fainted. So I wonder if that means that if she hadn't have fainted, she would have recognized Usagi as Sailor Moon. Or would the magic have taken over? And I assume the magic would take over, but it's interesting to think about.
Yeah. But look who's
So,
just listening. I love that.
oh,
The
Usagi.
third panel along, yeah, of her listening, and it's just kind of shaded out.
Yeah, it kind of
It's
looks like she's behind a window shades. She's not, but I like that. That's how it's like kind of
yeah,
drawn.
she's just kind of in shadow listening to the conversation.
And then it kind of looks like her brooch is glowing after that, which is
Yeah.
interesting. And then we have Luna is also with Usagi, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I love this little mention down here that Usagi doesn't say out loud, but she's like, "You're heavy." Just a little bit of Luna shade. And then she's like, I guess it wasn't a dream. And Luna just looks so pleased with herself.
A little bit too pleased. She's like,
a little bit too pleased. I would agree with you there. And that is the ending of Act 1, Usagi Sailor Moon.
And you're hooked. You're in.
And you're hooked. Yeah, you want to be like, okay, so what the fuck is going on? Who's Sailor V? Who's Tuxedo Mask? What is the silver crystal? Like, you got all these questions, and you got to read more to find out.
Yeah.
So, Marcella, what was your favorite part of Act 1?
Not
to put you on the spot.
I know. Well, you have. But I love the whole of it. But I'm not going to cop out and say that. But I love the whole of it. I just thought it was great opening, a great setup.
Yeah, super strong.
Yeah, definitely. I very much enjoyed the panels with the fighting, and the monster is chilling as she looked. I just thought they were amazing. But I think my favorite was just the kind of introductory part to Sailor Moon and her kind of Usagi, sorry, and her character, and the sort of kind of girl that she is. It's very comically done and very, very, I'm going to say it again, but very relatable. And I think because of that, that's what hooked me to the character. That's what hooked me to the manga initially. Just seeing, that she was this kind of, perfect.
She's not the typical, you get the sense that she's not going to be the typical superhero.
Yeah, definitely. Not the kind of obvious choice. So I think that those introductory pages to her character is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Already I was like, girl, I am with you so much.
I love it. My favorite part is probably kind of like you said, but I'll pick something else. Like the overall introduction to Sailor Moon, or is Usagi is Sailor Moon. But honestly, if I have to pick something, I'm gonna pick the panel with the girl in the dress. I love that dress. I don't know why, but I love it. It's just so cute.
It is very cute.
I also
love
really
that you've gone with the fashion choice.
Oh yeah. So as we go on this podcast, you're gonna learn that I'm going to point out the fashion a lot because I have a lot to say about it.
You're a fashion queen though, because called to reference Dead by Daylight. I mean,
yes, of course. You can't run away from the most important looking cute. Right.
That's the most important thing I think to you in that game. How the character dresses.
You're so right. You're so right. It is.
If I'm gonna be on the hook, I'm gonna be the hot.
Exactly. Fangmin fashion queen.
Shout out Fang.
Love Fangmin. But I guess that's all we got for this. This was really fun, Marcella. I had a great time.
Yeah, I did too. It was great fun.
Yeah, we had lots of laughs. We love introducing ourselves back to Usagi. This is only my second time reading the manga, by the way.
Oh, really? Well, I think this is...
I haven't
No, because I'm doing a reread. I'm doing a reread at the moment, my homework, which is probably why I haven't been watching the anime. So I'm going to have to manage my time better in between napping and sleeping and eating. So I guess technically this could be my third read through.
Okay.
The third read
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
it's following my second read through almost immediately.
Well, that's good.
Maybe it does count.
All right. I think it counts. I think it's totally fine. So next time we will be reading Act 2, which is called, I believe it's called Ami, Sailor Mercury.
Yay.
So we get spoiler, but we're going to be meeting another Sailor Scout.
Another one. How many are there?
Who's to tell? Who's to know? But I think that's all that we got. You can follow me on the internet on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at JustinGray22 across all 3 platforms. If you type that in, you're going to find me. You're going to see my face. So it's very easy. And then we have our podcast Twitter.
Yeah. Sailor Manga Pod.
And our email is, oh God, did I forget it again?
I don't know it.
Sailor Manga Podcast at gmail.com. There, I got it.
Good.
All right, so all we have left is our ending phrase. You want to do it like last time?
Yes.
All right, so thank you guys for listening to the first official act of the manga read through. And in the name of the moon,
we'll be back soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. I wouldn't say I'm a hot mess. I'd say I'm a lukewarm. I'm a lukewarm mess.
A lukewarm. Spoiler, but we're going to be meeting another Sailor Scout.
Another one. How many are there?
Who's to tell? Who's to know? But I think that's all that we got. You can follow me on the internet on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at JustinGray22 across all 3 platforms. If you type that in, you're going to find me. You're going to see my face. So it's very easy. And then we have our podcast Twitter.
Yeah. Sailor Manga Pod.
And our email is, oh God, did I forget it again?
I don't know it.
Sailor Manga Podcast at gmail.com. There, I got it.
Good.
All right, so all we have left is our ending phrase. You want to do it like last time?
Yes.
All right, so thank you guys for listening to the first official act of the manga read through. And in the name of the moon,
we'll be back soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. I wouldn't say I'm a hot mess. I'd say I'm a lukewarm. I'm a lukewarm mess.
A lukewarm.